Hello tennis fans, I'm Coach Randy with Downey Tennis Center, and this video is 5 simple but very effective tips on how to help your favorite tennis athlete get the most out of their tennis season. Maybe you have a student that's about to play on a tennis team or a tournament, and these tips are very good practices to implement so that they get the most from their matches, they get the most experience, and it helps them improve the most. Tip number 1, encourage the correct mindset. A lot of times when kids play matches, their focus at first tends to be about winning or losing. They really think about the performance. As a parent, I think it's a lot more valuable and helpful if you encourage the process rather than the performance. Encourage effort instead of just winning and losing. Maybe they played a player that's not as experienced, so it really doesn't help them if they're playing someone that is a lot worse and they beat them. It's better that every single match you really encourage them to try their best no matter the score, because that way long term they're going to always continue to improve, and that's what it really is about. It's about growth and improvement, because that mindset and the value on that process will help them go further in their tennis journey or any skill that they want to acquire. It's that constant improvement, because if they're a junior, let's say they're 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, their match results really don't matter that much, especially if they want to play in high school or college or beyond. You know, these wins are more about the learning experiences and acquiring the proper skills, not about the wins. Number 2, turn your losses into lessons. It's really important that after each match, you take some time to just have a chat with your kids and really help them process the match, whether they won or they lost. You want to ask them some self-reflective questions. Really ask questions that help them analyze their own match so that they can learn from themselves. Sometimes when you tell them what they did wrong, they're not going to own it. They won't learn the lesson as much as if they were to kind of dig it out of their memory and do self-reflection, because that way they can apply it a lot more. So I'm going to post a couple questions right here that are good questions to ask your student after a match. And these questions really are about analyzing their match, what they did well and what they could do better, and using that information and applying it right away. You don't want to have them dwell on the blame game. If they're blaming the equipment for their loss, or their opponent was too good, or maybe the wind was blowing really hard, or it was too sunny, a lot of times kids might have this tendency to blame external factors instead of reflecting on what they could have done better to improve their results. So don't let them dwell on that. Get them into thinking what they could do and what they could change right away. Number 3, participate with them. Play with them. It's no secret, a lot of the kids that are excelling, a lot of them do have parents that play tennis with them on a regular basis. And even though you might not play tennis, there's still a lot that you can do to participate and play with them and support them. For example, I have a lot of parents that go out there and buy tennis balls, they get a basket from a local sporting goods store, and they just hand toss the ball to their student so that they can get extra repetitions in. You don't have to be a tennis player, but if they know what to do and all they need is extra repetition and extra practice, then you can go out there and just toss balls from your hands, and they can get in lots of repetitions without you having to instruct them. Sometimes it's not about knowing more stuff, it's just about practicing what you already know so that you can do it under pressure situations. Tip number 4, network. A lot of times you might not have the time to play tennis with them, but there are other parents on the team, other kids that your kids play with, and you can set up times with the other parents and maybe just schedule a time for your kids to play together. It's not enough to just play when the team practices, because they're just going to be just as good as every other team. If you really want them to excel and get in those extra wins, it's about outworking your competition. And a great way to do that without you investing too much time is network with the other parents, get their contact, maybe their phone number or email or whatever, and just say, hey, do you want to drop off your kids on Tuesday afternoon and have them play tennis practice matches? So that way you could just, maybe leave them with other parent, or know that your kids are with someone that you trust and are familiar with. That way you get an extra practice and they get the extra experience. The fifth step is ask for help. A lot of times parents maybe don't know what to do, so your coaches are very invested in helping your kids learn. So it doesn't hurt to ask them a specific plan of action that they can do, so that they can improve the most. There's going to be always a lot of things. There's going to be a serve, a return, a backhand, a ground stroke. There's going to be a list of things that they can work on. But if you ask them specifically what are the top 1 or 2 action items that they can work on that would make the biggest difference, that would be very helpful. There's things that you can do at home that will help your student athlete improve a lot. They don't always have to be on the tennis court in order to get better. For example, if you exercise with them, maybe go out for a jog with your kids, or encourage them to do exercises at home. A lot of body weight exercises are very helpful. For example, squats, lunges, sit-ups, jumping jacks. These exercises, you don't need any equipment and you can do them at home and just get in a lot of repetitions, and it's going to be very, very helpful for them on the court. So I hope those 5 tips were very helpful, and it's not about just knowing them, but it's about always applying them. So if you guys have any questions, please feel free to leave a comment or reach out to me and I will be happy to help you guys. I wish you guys a very successful season. Hope you guys have a great time playing and have a great experience, and let me know what I can do on my part to help support you as parents to make your kids the best that they can be. It's my job to empower people to be the best selves on and off the court. So I'll see you guys. Take care.